Sure, I moet die honestly.
Julle is die rede hoekom ons hier is. Dankie. Kyk waar ons vandag. Maar ons is nog nie waar ons moet wees nie. Van ons het hier die hele krag nie. Ons moet die krag kry. Hoe kry ons die krag? As ons almal voet vir een man. Ons almal staan agter hom. No matter wat. So ek wil sê dankie vir julle. Maar die gedagte wat jy hier het, my bro, is 'n flop. As 'n flop, my bro. As 'n groot flop. Julle moet julle influence gebruik, my bro, om die mense te convince om te sê, dis ons enigste way hierdeur, man. Dat is wat julle moet doen. Jokes. No, that was not the first time I came to spinning event. I was at other spinning events also. There's many people that did what you guys did. Combs, they did as well. Then I went to clubs, and so there was many. But I remember how you brought me. Je moet ook niet zo aangaan. Jullie moeten ook zo danken voor mij. Jullie niet gaan charge voor appearance fee, niet? Ondou. Ik heb niet voor jullie gaan charge voor appearance fee. Van het basis van JHM we ontstaan samen met elkaar. Ons moet de attitude behouden. Hoor jullie voor mij? Jullie zijn al die living witnesses. Jullie hebben mij daar bij dat event gezien. Ik was net een simple comedian. Hier zeg ik vandaag. Kijk, waar zeg ik vandaag? Kijk jullie daar wie? Die raciale man. Gaten McKenzie. Daar is er aan proef. Jullie kan ons zeggen jullie zelf. Hoe het heeft gekomen. Jullie is easters in jullie community. Jullie moet daar nou gebruiken. Om strategisch te denken. Voor die hele leidies van ons. Maak zo een register om te voelen. Dan support ons vergeten McKenzie Massacre. Maak ons een president. Ons is kon. Die hele spinners. Jokes, waarom komen ze nou achter of voor zullen is, dat is het probleem met ons. Die feit blijft staan, hij heeft mij ook gehost. En ik heb voor jullie ook gesupport, zoals ik zei. Dat was een ding van ons, het is een solidarity. Niemand is beter als de ander, whether was eerste of tweede. Die feit blijft staan, ons komt van ver af. Kom en staan samen. En ik zei jullie massacres, als jullie niet kan voor Gaten McKenzie support je. Als jullie niet kan, hij doet niet. Los jullie alles. Haat me zomaar. Zeg jullie kinderen zeggen niks. Haat me mee broers. Praat jullie alles aan me. Because ik zei jullie niks. Stak mijn kop op een blok. Gaten McKenzie is our way out of this mess. That's what I'm telling you. En jullie kan maar voor mij uit. Of voor mij. Otherwise, kijk maar samen met Gaten McKenzie staan ik. And I don't need anything. Let me tell you, even if I don't have what I have today. You'll have seen it countless times in my journey till here. Ik was al geremoved bij hem, man. Ik was geremoved van mij, van wat. I still stood Kele hoekom, als ik aan was. Ik geloof in die vision. Ik kan nou niks zeggen. Ik zal nog ons moet vote for Gaten McKenzie, because I've seen with my eyes. Ja. Jullie gaan maken die mensen chippy. Dat ik maar chap die moves laat vandaag. Goed die leidt zo goed als ik krijg. Dat ik jullie chap los. Ik wil gewoon, zodat mensen waar het later gaan kijken. Dat ik zie. Ik kan niet. Jullie net zo laat gaan zonder om die Liam story eten. Maar ik heb nog mijn tijd gespeeld met jullie is op een klaar, maar ze gaan de klaar. Als jullie weer posters maak je met Gaten McKenzie zijn gezicht en say support voor Gaten. Alle spinners voor jullie voor Gaten. Los die complainer van jullie. Maar ik is lief veel maar ze kent. Onze dag gaan komen, ons gaan meer kracht krijgen, gaan ons meer doen. En als jullie denken Gaten McKenzie is corrupt, dan is ik wat. Die waar jullie hier zien, jullie mistake jullie. Als je daar zo zit en zegt, Gaten McKenzie is corrupt, dan is ik wit. Als je een zwart man ziet, dan is je blind. Je is colorblind. Koko, je is colorblind, die is wit. Als hij corrupt is, dan is ik wit. Oké.
New members.
And
And
we
have a bite on this one of colored.
Yes, I have you on the list. It is Honorable Molotane, Khabo,
Chair.
Honorable Pilankulu.
I don't know whether I understand you and that I raised to ask question about any issues on us, but
For all the time, we are doing it in this fashion. If you get your slot, and after the slots,
I'm just finding it.
there's another bite to, at the cherry particular member to the department.
it's a reaction of
Other on
you becoming unfair, Chairperson.
having a list in front of me. Else will want to have a bite on music hub.
Just gonna make mention for the sake of the retain represent. Now, it is not that who colored represent for these way. That's why I wrapped up with
Yes, you may, please.
in the scope, member.
Person regarding the debt reduction
No man ik moet heel veel
who applying going to it's not it's they need to and then he the of a different one pet she is the appointed in many
Oh
boards.
no, let me get it from YouTube. Dink jy dit sap die ding wees? Ek ga hulle nou mooi bedie. Ek ga hulle nou 'n dronk lesson gee. Dan maak ons klaar. Gaan slap. Ek sien waar we gaan doen. Dis also.
Thank you very much,
Good job.
Chairperson.
Yes,
Chairperson,
Karma.
I would just like to direct, the following question to the minister, and
Listen
that question hinges on the fact that we are following the act and we are following the basic provisions of the act.
Listen. What did he say? Did you hear that? Want to play it again?
And this isn't just to test and understand the minister. And that question hinges on the fact that we are following the act and we are following the basic.
He says he's about to ask questions. He says, and the question hinges on the act. Now, when you start like that, you are saying that whatever you're about to do, as you know, kokolo, as you kokolo, as you saw us schrijf kokolo. Ik wil eerst de zin. Jullie allemaal is nog geen kokolo. Onze slaan met die spinner in. Ik wil jullie nog die ding nog explain. Als jullie hier, kom. Zeg kokolo. En ken ik jullie als je schrijft kokolo. Kokolo, schrijf dat. Ik ga jullie nog die ding van. Stap voor stap. Gaan ons Leo lopen. Dank je Patrick. Leader Patrick Lindo. Dat is een persoon wat jullie kan wezen. Wat betekent het om te zeggen ons geloven in onze president. Dank je Priscilla. Dankie. Lawrence gaan Waspers skryf Coco. Hy skryf Coco. Cool. Coco. Ja, hy skryf vir Coco. Kijk, daar steek jy vir Devenito aan, daar steek jy vir Reginald ook aan. Dat is Kuku. Okay. Julle samen mee. Laat ek julle nou stap vir stap bedeer. Ons gaan nou leeuw loop. Ek ga julle stap vir stap bedeer. Ons gaan leeuw loop. Okay.
The basic provisions of the act.
He says it hinges. So what he's telling you is everything that he's going to question is to test whether it hinges. Hinges, he uses the word hinges is to say that, like, a door at a hinge. So for the door to stick to the doorpost, it has to hinge on the doorpost. If there's no hinges, the door. Priscilla, nie leeuw loop, 1 second. Ons gaan leem loop. Sit jou hande op jou voete nou. Yeah. So, it's hinges. So, sonder die hinges die deur gaan val. So, he says, every question he's going to ask hinges on what? The act. So, in other words, he's not going to ask anything outside of the ambit of the act, because when you do oversight, your job is to test whether the actions of the particular portfolio is within the confines of the law and the act, right? So, there's some intention. In other words, if he moves away from questions as it relates to the legitimacy or the consistency of the actions of the minister as it relates to the act, then he himself is changing the goalposts. And the only reason why he will do that is because he realizes he was wrong in his thoughts, in his first assumption that they are doing something that is contrary to the act, you see? So I want you to test. You don't go after Gayton McKenzie if you don't have your facts together, Massacre. And that's the first thing you do. Framafonds arm. As you gaan vir Gayton McKenzie, maak sure you story at least after mekaar. Ons slaapie, as ons prepare. My broer as ek hom sien hoe prepare vir committees en hy slaap nie. Hy is stiptelik waai. Because hy kan nie daar gaan en leem loop nie. Hy moet daar gaan en hom ding agter mekaar hê. Van hy represent sy mense, hulle moet nie kom sê dis 'n dom boesman nie. So, now you have it, né? Nou moet ons nou toets. Het hy gehou by sy introduction. Right, let's go.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I would just like to direct, the following question to the Minister. And that question hinges on the fact that, we are following the Act and we are following the basic provisions of the Act. And this isn't just to test an understanding of the Act and what it encompasses, but it is...
So, he's saying it's not just to test the functionality and the provisions of the Act. So that's one of the things he's seeking to do. Does the Minister have the understanding of the provisions of the Act?
Oh, something very crucial to understand what could be a conflict of interest. Now, Chairperson...
Now he says, Now, the term conflict of interest is also a legal term. So when you prove conflict of interest, you need to do it based on the elements required for it to be legally considered a conflict of interest. So even the term conflict of interest must be within the ambit of the legal prescriptions of the Act. So he wants to do two things. He wants to test the understanding of the minister of the Act, and two, he wants to probe whether there is a conflict of interest. Now, if you're going to probe for conflicts of interest, it must still be based on the definition, the legal definition of conflict of interest, not your own definition. You can't also come and Liam loop or definition or definitions like jy's of woordeboek. Jy moet hou by what is the legal definition, because if you take it to court, you must be able to say, these are the elements required for something to constitute a conflict of interest, and I can prove that this minister is guilty of everything that constitutes a conflict of interest. Not gaan in your eie woordeboek skryf oor wat is conflict of interest nie. Right? So both these objectives that he starts off in his introduction to say, this is my objective in my question and answer session or my interrogation session. No? It's not someone didn't force that on him. He's the one who exposes what he's going to probe. Right?
I just want to ask,
He's
on
asking.
what basis and what was the rationale behind setting up the board, or rather the body that conducted the interviews for the National Arts Council?
What was the rationale for setting up the board? Right? What was the rationale? That's the key question.
Appointments and for the shortlisted candidates.
Minister's going to answer.
The minister?
Thank you, Honorable Liam.
First thing, minister comes. Minister ken die like die sy intention is om goeders te create for the public, and he still comes and respects him as an honorable member. That's the maturity of our president. He's going to answer the question. Remember, what's the question? What was the rationale?
That is what is required of us by the Act. So we are just following the Act to the letter. Thank you.
Simple, direct question. What was the rationale for forming the boards? Press? That's what's required of us by the Act. So we were following the Act by the letter. Aye. Look here. To make an assertion, jy moet eerder bedronk is of jy moet weet wat doen jy. As jy sê, you're making an assertion in response. The rationale behind what we did here was because, one, the Act requires us to do it. Number two, we followed the Act to the letter. Now the one who's questioning is getting worried now, because if this man makes such a confident claim that he is following the Act by the letter, and my intention is to test his understanding of the Act, and two, it is then to probe conflict of interest, he's going to have a tough job ahead of him. We go.
Chairperson, I asked on what basis was the interview panel constituted?
He now just flips the word rationale with basis. Here, God help us. Ek kan nie leem loop nie. Net om 'n control is dit. All he does is he switches the question to say, because he didn't expect the minister to be so confident in saying, we followed the Act by the letter. Now he's thrown off a bit, so no man I'm not breathing space because he say because say brain at shock. And Gator McKenzie will do that to you. Hy jou mooi bedei. Hy maak net chap iets met jou brein. That's wat gebeur. So skat hom so. Ek dink maar, joh, hy het nie gedink Gayton McKenzie gaan sê. But now he can't step back. If he was honest, he should have just said, thank you, Honorable Minister. If you followed the act, can you prove what. But he had to follow the instruction of those who sent him. Embarrass him. He must pressure. As ek moet die man embarrass, dis nou my grootste kans die, because as ek dit dan gaan ek viral. Because the content creators hulle soek vir, imagine the headline, Liam grilled Gayton McKenzie. That's what he wants. So, what did he do? No meneer noteert toe chap. Instead of, maar hy moet kallet en kallet beklee. Dom beleid, he's jurwitje. Was ek jy, en gaan ek Gayton McKenzie toe, dan sê ek to my. Sê nie vir my, hulle sê so, ek doen die. Ek sit by die man se voete. Die man is geskool in die straat en in die boardroom. There's nobody in politics that has that balance. I am blessed to learn from him. Everybody else that's around him is blessed to learn from Gayton McKenzie. Mazakent, you'll do well to humble yourself. And you know what? Hy man het al mense vergewe wat deelike goed is wat van hom gesê het. Listen to me, Liam. Those people that claims to teach you, they're teaching you gemors. They're teaching you to control you. We all have us, maar jy word gebruik. En jy weet vandag jy geflop, maar ek gaan wys hoe. So toe ruk, toe gaan die fuse, toe bars die fuse. Toe meneer nou terugkom, hy sê, Minister, I asked for basis. Basis is rationale. Contextually, in what he was asking. He's asking, upon which rationale did you use to make the boards? Minister, the act. That's my rationale. It's not my own. It's the rationale. The rationale is the act, and we followed the act to the letter. Gooi hom off, he come terug, he say, Minister, he wants to make it look like the minister didn't answer the question. So he goes, why, Minister, no, I'm not asking for that. I'm asking, what's the basis? Upon which basis did you form the boards? Yeah, Liam loop no.
What informed the rationale?
He goes back. Listen to this. What informs the rationale? Ek moet rewind now.
Behind it, apart from just the act chairperson.
Yeah,
what informed the rationale view panel?
Following the act to the letter. Thank you.
Chairperson, I asked on what basis was the interview panel constituted? What informed the rationale behind it, apart from just the act chairperson? What informed the rationale behind it?
Listen to this. What informed the rationale behind this, apart from the act, what he's doing now? He said at the beginning, his intention is to test the minister's understanding of the act. That's what he's supposed to do. It's within the ambit of his legislative duty to do that. His job is to test understanding of the legislative requirements and what informed the actions in the ambit of the legislative requirements. That's his job. Now that he sees, hey, die minister het nog nie geantwoord soos hy dit ge-expect het om hom te kon aan, no men himself uit die gat het kry. No say, no, apart from the act. You can't say apart from the act. The act is the basis. Now he says, what informed the rationale apart from the act? Hey, Gayton McKenzie, sal jy in jou heren sit, massakant. Dit geflop. And Gayton McKenzie is still going to answer him. Watch.
He said, based on the act.
I don't need any other rationale other than the act.
All right. Does the minister know who Liesel Penneken is?
Very well.
How does the minister...
Watch. Now, remember, this guy, you don't do that. You see what he did was he drew a conclusion without facts, and he wanted to let the minister fall within the trap of the conclusion that he already created in his mind. You don't do that to Gaten McKenzie. Gaten McKenzie, Liam Lope. Hey, Mackenzie Lope. Hey, Lope, Ava David Lope. Hey, Khani Liam Lope. You cannot make create Ava Yayom Valere. That is your mistake, Masakan. The one thing that you must do when you interrogate people, study the person you're interrogating. You must understand their character. You must understand their background. You must look at videos of how these people, how they think, how they do whatever. Understand who you're interrogating. It's a lot of work. It's hours and hours of preparation just to question for 10 minutes max, sometimes. And if what you showed me, Liam, you didn't do due diligence, Masakan. You underestimated who you are going to interrogate. Because if you know who you're interrogating, you would not have come with such a lame preparatory disposition. So it's a messed up situation. So he come in, he said, my press answered him. So I don't need any other rationale. I just need the act. Yes. There's nowhere to go from there. Now, do you know how embarrassing it is for you to be the legislator? Now remember, legislator is the one who's responsible for making laws. So he's a representation. Literally, your job is the face of the law. He's a legislator, right? Now, do you know how embarrassing it is for an executive, someone from the executive, a minister, that you want to show deviated from the act. You want to prove to the world he deviated to the act. Instead of you doing that, he, by his honest responses, causes you as the legislator to move away from the act. And say, apart from the act, you lost no the act. You can't there. You can't there. He's honest. He thought Gaten McKenzie is going to say he doesn't know Lizo Pelican. My press is transparent. There's nothing wrong. It's in line with the act. Press said, yes, I know her. Honey Ford.
To know these open accounts.
I've been following her music since I can remember.
Is it true that Liesl Penneken has performed at multiple Patriotic Alliance events?
Watch. He's now giving leading questions. But that's okay. He's not in court, so he can give leading questions. But press. Let's buy press is al. Dava devil gaan. Press wacht voor hom also. Press wacht. Hey, wacht af voor hom. Press for him. Watch, press say, I love her music. Hey, Farah, is it true that she sang at PA events? It is true. Alright? So press is going to say yes. PA events. Maar to bring press on Dava de Yomvele. Worry. What press the response?
She's performed at PA events, ANC events, I think even your party's events.
She performed
Is she
everywhere.
an active member of the Patriotic Alliance?
She's a
Watch. He doesn't dispute. She's performed everywhere. In other words, she's not just performed at PA events. Why? She's an artist. She's not a PA artist. She is a national artist. She is an award-winning artist. She's a pop star. She's Alice Van Jamali. It's not a PA artist. She is an artist. She served not just PA, she served ANC, she served DA, that's proof that in the execution of her art, it has not just been limited to the Patriotic Alliance. And the brilliance of Gayton McKenzie was to let the country know that she's not just PA. She didn't just perform, she's an artist. So as an artist, she does not look at which party it is. She looks at, I'm doing my job, I'm going to perform. So equally so, whichever position she holds, she's not just going to look at PA, she's going to look at ANC, she's going to look at DA. It's not going to move her. She's there to be of service. That's what he's trying to hint to the country. He didn't expect that. So normally weer verder weggaan. Yo, hier was ek sê dankie chairperson. Ek gaan nou Liam loop toilet toe. Maar nee, he wants to keep going.
She's a member. I wouldn't say she's an active member, but she's a member of the Patriotic Alliance.
She is a member.
So, Chairperson, that is why I put it to you, Chairperson, that I find it very interesting that the person who was the chairperson of the current board that we have is a member of the Patriotic Alliance. And that is why I want to ask, Minister, you said that the Act is what we are following, and we are following the Act to the T. Are you aware that subsection, or rather section 5.1b of the Act says, a member of the council shall not hold office in any political party or political organization?
Watch.
I'm very aware of that, and that's why she's not holding any office. What you was inferring is not correct. Liesl Pennican holds no office in the Patriotic Alliance.
That question was not in relation to Liesl Pennican. This question is if you understand that that's a provision within the Act.
How was the person you are asking question to? How is he supposed to know you're no longer asking about Liesl Pennican? Do you know why he went that way? Because he realized, he answered with an understanding of the Act. She doesn't hold any office. She's not an office bearer, so it can't be a conflict of interest. He quoted a section, and the appointment of Liesl Pennican is within the ambit of the section that he quoted. That's basically what just happened there. Did you guys get it? Come, say me, that. Did you all get it? I know you all get it. I know you all got it. So when he saw, nog 'n strike, toe dink hy moet hierdeur gaan. Now he says, no, I wasn't talking about Liesl Pennican. No, van wie jy gepraat? 'n trolley. Like, moet jy nou 'n vino in die hemel uittrek? Hoe moes pres geweet dat jy's nou klaar met Liesl? Kukulekuku. Okay, laat ons aangaan. So ek gaan nou net aangaan, hè?
I don't understand what you're saying now, because we're speaking about Liesl Pennican, so when did we jump to somebody else, Honorable?
I was satisfied with what was mentioned about Liesl Pennican and her allegiance to the Patriotic Alliance and her position as a chairperson of the panel that conducted interviews. I'm asking you now, separately, do you understand the provision made in 5.1b?
The minister, Honorable Jacob, has responded, and it also implied that she has a position, and the minister has made it clear that she has no position. I am happy with the response.
I'm also saying so.
No, but Chairperson, Chairperson. I think I have a problem with the manner you are running this meeting today.
Watch. Do you know the guy, Eugene Mtetwa? He's from the EFF. Now, obviously, you see when you can hate each other. The EFF doesn't like the DA. But when you have one common enemy, Jelachan Sam jump. So you come in way overall 8. I defend for Liam.
This is done deliberately. It is under cross-examination where you deliberately play around with the words so that the person, because the minister has been contradicting himself quite often today.
Precisely,
but you are not...
Now he says precisely. Now, julle het nou geluister, né? At which point did the president, the minister, contradict himself? Not once. It is Liam that has contradicted himself. Started with, we're going to focus on the Act, then he went apart from the Act, started with Liesl, then he went away from Liesl. He got direct answers from Gayton McKenzie. But the EFF also, in the same way, they are assigned for one purpose. You must embarrass the minister. That was the assignment. So no joiner, 2 against 1.
The speaker, the person who's asking questions, to question. And this has been happening even with the higher education minister. She ended up conceding because of such questioning from your own people from P8. They were questioning the minister like that. But today you are not allowing us.
No, ons na die committee van higher education toe. Wat het die committee van higher education te doen met hulle? Doen julle eie ding. Los vir hulle daar.
Honorable Tetwa, you raised a point of order. I allowed you, and now you are making comparisons with other portfolio committee and mention your members, DA members. Not once in this particular meetings that I have indicated or introduced myself from the party I come from. I am happy with the question. We are running out of time. The question has been asked about a certain individual who are part and parcel of the Patriotic Alliance. The minister has responded. A follow-up question has been asked of a clause stating that you must not hold office. And the minister responded that she's not having or holding office. That's why I intervened for the sake of time. But proceed, Honorable Liam Jacobs.
Thank you, Chairperson. I want to then ask what informed Liesl Pennekin becoming the chairperson of the interview panel?
Well, firstly, nothing precludes her from becoming a part of the panel. Let's start there.
That's very important. Because remember, Prez knows that what the underlying, because what he does is he's most now going to edit videos. So, Prez for this massacre nie vandag. So then he edits it to create a particular narrative, right? So what Prez does very nicely, he knows his intention is to give the impression that Liesl Pennekin and Eugene Botha is not allowed by the act to be appointed. That's what he wants to push. It's not the truth. So Press is very clear. Before I answer your question, let's first be clear that the act does not restrict her, does not preclude her and Eugene from being on the board. There's no corruption here. That's the first thing. That's what you must gather what he's doing there. Right? Then he goes on.
Secondly, we have explained previously that we followed the act to the letter. So nowhere in the act does it say a Liesl Pennekin cannot form part of the process. So we have followed the act, and if you can point out to me where in the act does it state she cannot be part of it.
Watch. Now, once it's thrown back to you now as the legislator, now this, you're going to see what he does here now, and then I'm going to explain to you what is allowed. So his president is now putting it to him to say, now if you're the legislator, if you can help me, show me in the act where it says I've done something wrong, I've been corrupt, you show me. I'm asking you to show me. Right? Watch. Yo, this is brilliant.
I think then I would be able to answer. But whatever feeling you might harbor against Liesl Pennekin or I might harbor has no bearing on her appointment or the law or the act. Let's follow the act because we clearly come from different viewpoints.
Chairperson, there seems to be a deficit in the understanding of how what could be considered following an act to the T and then saying that you have done things properly could preclude the fact that there might be a moral and ethical deficit within appointments made in certain aspects. And that is
a moral deficit in the appointment. He now goes from, have you followed the act? Yes. Is it a conflict of interest? No. Now let's deal with, there might be a moral deficit. No. Show in the act that is corrupt. That's your job. Now you're going to the moral deficit. And now watch. Now he's going to use a lot of big words. Why? Jy wat luister, moet dink, yo, wow. Maar wat hy actually daar sou doen, is hy's besig om te prepare for the exam whilst writing the exam.
Hi, Chairperson. I want to ask, is Eugene Botha still a top 10 member of the Patriotic Alliance?
There
Does he
he
hold
goes
any
to
office
Eugene
within the
now.
Patriotic Alliance?
Let me first please answer this question, these two questions that you just raised in this one sentence. You are unable to tell me the act that precludes Liesel Pennington from holding, sitting on the panel. In the absence of you not telling me what act we have breached, your feelings and my feelings doesn't matter here. Secondly, office bearers of a political party is the top 6. Eugene is not an office bearer of the Patriotic Alliance. There was an old linked thing where he was there for 2 days when we wanted to remove the Secretary General and we reinstated her in our party. He is currently, and during his term, in a political office in law, has been defined in law.
Now he's being screwed.
Through precedent and court cases. And he is not a political office bearer of the Patriotic Alliance. If the chairperson allows me, I can give you the top 6 of the Patriotic Alliance.
Chairperson, if I may come in here, Chairperson, I would like to actually then say that if you want to tackle this on a legal basis, right, this is where the Act is currently contradicting with what has previously been fought in the court of law. Previously, in the court of law of our country, you'll find that it has said that individuals who hold political offices are allowed to work within state entities such as municipalities and provincial governments and national government departments. That is said, right? And the notion of political office bearer refers to anybody who is elected. Now, I understand that notion is foreign to your party, as your party obviously functions in an appointment.
Watch what he does. He says that that case law contradicts the Act. It's different from the Act because the case law that now there's precedent that an office bearer can hold office in government. So he's basically saying, okay, even Eugene, no problem. Even if he is an office bearer, he can be there. That's what he says. He's basically saying that. But he can't swear because he wants you to think he's no sure. But he's literally that's all he's doing. He's not but he's confirming what the minister said. Now that he doesn't have basis, he doesn't have a concurrent flow of an argument. You see, how you know someone has really done his or her homework is if you see the concurrency of his questioning, the concurrency of his argument, the consistency within the flow of his argument to reach a particular point. You know this man or this woman has prepared. He knows where he or she is going, but he hasn't. He's lost it right at the beginning. Why? Because the person he's interrogating, he underestimated the intelligence of that person. And so now he's finding himself in what they call a slippery slope argument. So now he can't come out. So what must he do now? Now anybody who knows when someone is a lazy interrogator is when you no longer have substance, then you're going for the attack. Because what you have to do now is you have to destabilize the person you're interrogating emotionally so that you can save face. That's the tactic. Will Gaten McKenzie fall for it is the question. So now he's going there. He's like, I can't man cream met facts, I can't cream met legislation, I can't cream met the Eugene. But I did think, je raak warm. Luckily it was online, maar I did like, I can't man cream. I denk no aan zijn masters, I denk aan alles, I denk aan nee. He must throw him off balance, so he's gonna go on the attack now. Where is he going to attack? You always attack at something that somebody loves dearly. He knows how much Praise loves the Patriotic Alliance and the patriots of the party. So he goes there. Boom. Goes to the party. Watch.
Appointment-based system. But in the event and the absence of the
So he's basically saying that in our party, daar was niks geelect, die so dat val nie in die ambit van die act nie. There's just appointments.
elections, naturally appointments would then fill that void, right? Therefore, even if he is a branch chairperson or he's a constituency leader or if he's something like that, he becomes a political office bearer.
He's none of the things you've just mentioned. He's not a branch chairperson. He's not none of the things you've mentioned. And we cannot operate on assumptions and what if and what if. What is the law saying? Let's deal with each other on the act. A political office bearer is the top six of the party. He's not a political office bearer, number one. Number two, what are you trying to imply? I'm saying to you that he's not elected. He's not a branch chairperson. He's not a political office bearer. What do you want me to say in as far as Liesl Pennican and Eugene is concerned?
So, chairperson, to the public, then I put it, that it is very interesting that the minister is of a particular party, that the leader of the individuals conducting the interviews is that same political party, and ultimately the chairperson of that board then becomes the same political party. There is certainly, chairperson, we must investigate certainly, chairperson, whether there is actual ethics that can be found in this chairperson.
Ethics.
Because in as much as there is a precedent for this, legally speaking, chairperson, we must
in as much as there is precedent for it. Now he's making an admission. He says the chairperson will investigate. What investigate? When he's admitting, in as much as there is precedent. Die ding het voorheen gebeur, dit het nou begin met Gate en McKenzie. What does he want?
the potential of a conflict of interest.
It has the potential of a conflict of interest. He's now very smart in using his words correctly. He's not saying, when he started, he said it's a conflict of interest. He wants to test it. After testing, he now comes to the conclusion, this is the conflict of interest. But even though there's precedent, Honorable Chair, it can potentially be. You can't do that as a litigator or as one who's interrogating. As either that is of what is it, and what say J, is it, and is demand guilty of what? When you question, when I ask a question to somebody, I know where I'm going because I have facts to the conclusion where I'm going to. I've been to the conclusion, I've come back at the beginning to meet the person that I'm fatte kom by die hand, dan loop ons daar. En as ek somewhere along the line sien, die man het hier geloop, wat ons nou moet gaan nie. Hy het actually links gedraai. Ek gaan hom nie force om hier te gaan nie. That's what he's trying to do. Because I'm not trying to embarrass the person as die persoon bewys het dat nee, het hy daardeur geloop nie. Then I put up my hands and I say as a legislator, no nie me nie, my brother. As a legislator, nee, dan is jy niks te doen, maar second. God bless you, gaan voort met jou werk en serve mense en allerlei verby. Maar as jy wil 'n proof point, as jy wil 'n point proof, en jy moet mense please, nou force jy om hier te gaan. Hy het die verkeerde man gekry. Die man skool hom soos 'n draw wat about is om geflash te word.
Because we understand, Chairperson, we must understand the framework that certain parties operate in, Chairperson. When you operate in what is a dictatorial party, Chairperson, then you are bound to that leader in that party.
Now, listen very carefully what he said. Nah? It's very important that you hear what he said. He actually said, when you are a dictatorial party, who's he referring to? He's speaking to the minister. Contextually, he's saying that the setup of our party is what makes Eugene and Liesl Pennican office bearers, because it's a dictatorial party. He said that about the Patriotic Alliance. Later on, he says the EFF come and say he never mentioned the party, so the laws allows him. Gelig. Right? Now I'm just going to talk over the thing because it's not big lang.
When the leader can fire you as he pleases, Chairperson. When the leader has explicitly thrown his own members out of Parliament, Chairperson.
Then he
then
says,
we must talk, Chairperson.
Remember
I'm still
that.
talking. I will not be point of order by Honorable.
Hold on, you
Daniel,
cannot
Chairperson.
describe how this meeting is going to be run. There's a chairperson in this meeting. If you want to be the chairperson,
Chairperson, as I was proceeding.
That's Honorable Marlon Daniels.
Can we
That's the other
Honorable Leo Jacob asking his question. I haven't heard a point of order from no one.
Chairperson, as I was proceeding.
Chairperson.
Honorable Marlon Daniels
Is
is
there a point
coming
of order,
in.
Honorable?
Yes, Chairperson, it's a
Annie?
point of order. Please don't allow Honorable Malone to just come in while the other Honorable is still on the platform.
I haven't done so.
Anna
Okay, let
has
me go
raised
past this
Thank you.
quickly.
I haven't done so. I would hurt you.
I've even raised the point of describe how we must. And talking about the other time when I got both yourself and Honorable Liam McGalvin del Soom.
Yeah, so what
That is
Honorable
not the
Daniels is
point
trying to
of
do
order.
there is calling a point of order to say you can't talk about the dictatorial party, and then he's now saying the chairperson is DA, Liam is DA, and all of us be a swimming pool, and it's the same thing as saying Jeleto Wasambe a swimming pool type of thing. You know what I mean? You're on some here in the committee, and you're doing good to some also. But I want to get you to the president.
There's a reason why members ask a particular question. The minister has responded. So, Honorable Liam Jacobs, proceed.
The chair was
Chairperson, I
very
find it.
fair.
I'm actually not surprised at the fact that the Honorable Daniels does not understand checks and balances within a democracy, Chairperson.
Honorable Jacobs, let's deal with the content of what is presented, the questions being asked. You have asked questions. It is within the range of what has been presented to us. I'm allowing you, thus. Let us not engage one another. Let's engage with the content manner.
Minister can make those appointments, Chairperson. I want to understand his understanding as to why a member of the Patriotic Alliance became the chairperson of the interview panel. That led ultimately to the chairperson of the board being a member of the Patriotic Alliance as well. While he himself, as a minister, is a member of the Patriotic Alliance. What is the rationale? He's not answering the question.
Chairperson, the honourable member says I'm not answering the question, but he's still busy asking the question. I am one person that's not in the habit of disturbing people while they speak. Right. I want to answer Honourable Liam nicely, but I want him to tell me just one thing so I have clarity. He said I have thrown a member of the PA out of Parliament. Who's that member? So that when I answer on fact and not innuendos and gossip and lies.
Minister, just a second. Just a second, Minister. Just a second, Minister. That is the point I've made. Let's deal with the presentation. That is my concern. And in terms of the interrogation from the member pertaining to the party and their representation, well, that's a mindful consideration or question where there may or may not be a potential biasness. But I want it to be happen in a respectful manner where the member asks the question and the minister respond so that we can proceed. Thank you. Honorable Liam Jacobs, do you still want to respond, Honorable Minister?
No, but all I'm saying is my turn to respond.
Yes, please do.
But I have to be clear and fair on Honourable Jacobs. If you can say, he said here, before I come to what he said about the party I belong to, he said here that I have thrown out a member of the PA out of Parliament.
But that's nothing to do with the presentation.
Order, Chairperson.
No, Chairperson,
Order,
who's asking the
Chairperson.
questions here, Chairperson?
Order, Chairperson.
A member of the legislature or the member of the executive, Chairperson?
Right. Now, there I want to come in quickly. He's asking, who's asking the questions here? The member of the legislature or the member of the executive? Now, he is right. The member of the legislature is supposed to ask the question, the executive must answer. He's correct there. But in this instance, he's wrong. I'll show you how he's wrong. Because the member of the executive to whom the question was put to has the prerogative to ask the questioner for clarity on the question, because the expectation of the process is that whoever answers must answer knowingly and fully understanding, because when the person responds, the assumption is he or she understood the question, and therefore the answer should be taken for the record because the person understood it. He understood the question and therefore he responded in the way, so you can hold him accountable for how he responded because he did it with full understanding. Therefore, the rules now allows the prerogative of the one to whom the question is being posed to ask for clarity on what? A question or a statement. So what Prez is doing is he's using that prerogative, and he started by saying, just for clarity. Just for clarity, can the Honorable Liam Jacobs tell us, who did I put out of Parliament? So he has a right to do that. It's a clarity-seeking question. So now they're going, no, I'm supposed to ask, he's supposed to just answer. No, that's not how it works. Almost done.
I'm the one asking the questions, yeah, Chairperson.
No, let me tell you, I'm the chairperson here. And we have received a presentation from the department. And we are dealing with governance of the...
Chairperson?
Honorable Mtetwa?
Thank you, Chair. I don't remember Liam Jacobs stating a name of a person. It is allowed according to the rules that you can cast aspersion on a party. He didn't mention anybody or a particular person, but said a party that. So it's not a matter of debate.
You see, he's saying that it's true that the rules allows you to cast aspersions on a party as long as it's not to a person. So Liam did say a dictatorial party, right? So he cast aspersion. He's an aspersion. He's allowed to do that, but Prez is allowed to say, you cast an aspersion to the party, calling it dictatorial. Let me clarify. He's the president of that particular party that the rules allows him to cast aspersions to. So, what the overall higher logic is the? As Roy and blow some stand, again.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that, Honorable Mtetwa. I also haven't heard that. I don't know where the minister or when Honorable Jacobs has said that. But Honorable Minister, you may proceed.
Well, seeing that in this committee we're not supposed to ask for clarity, I'm asking Honorable Jacobs. I'm saying we can stop and play the tapes back. Honorable Jacobs said, "I have thrown members out of Parliament." That's a serious. I'm a leader of a party. I have hundreds and thousands of people voting for me. If somebody hears I've thrown out members out of Parliament, it is a thuggish act. Now you want me to just, but let's park it for that, because he must tell me. If he can, why can't he just mention it? He always mentions stuff. Why can't he mention whoever?
Chairperson, he must speak to the substance of what I have just said, Chairperson. He's going off of the point here. He must come back to the substance of what I have just said.
Coming right there now. Why did you mention?
Watch our press spins
Give
this,
the
right?
minister an opportunity to respond if it's done. If the minister still speaks and you want to say something, call a point.
Jonathan, yes, the chairperson is a DA member. But I must say the chairperson did well here.
Honorable William Jacob, proceed.
Jacobs.
I'm sure you meant the minister, Chairperson.
No, I meant you, but if the minister still want to respond, please respond.
I posed my question to the minister. I'm expecting a response, please, Chair.
All right.
This is precisely what I'm now doing, Honorable Jacobs. Honorable Minister.
Firstly, I think this is an apt time. I'm gonna, with your permission, Chair, let me answer his question, and then
Watch. So now, Pres is undressing this boy like there's just no way out for him. If I was him, I'd let my hand up and exclude my trolley. Because Pres now is going to now do what he wants, answer his question, then come back and still ask the point of clarity, which he has the right to do. Dan wat gaan hy doen? Yo.
Then I will make my remark regarding the clarity I was seeking. So he must not say I am trying to avoid answering his question. Let me start. It is very obvious that Honorable Jacobs knows that I've not breached any act or law. Hence, he's now talking about ethics.
Okay.
My ethics and his ethics are different.
Listen to this.
Ethics is debatable. Some people say it's ethical to have an abortion. Some people say it's unethical to have an abortion.
I know.
But here we're not dealing with what he feels or what I feel. We deal with the act. So he has now basically admitted that the act allows me to appoint
Listen Liam's response.
Eugene Buddha. That's one. Two, he talks about my party membership. I'm going to give him a name called Tim Harris. Tim Harris he talks about the Patriotic Alliance, so I'm going to tell him about a gentleman called Tim Harris. Tim Harris was previously a member of the DA. He served as a DA member of the National Assembly. He held other DA-related positions. He's the CEO of Westgrow. He was the CEO of Westgrow. Now, he must not come here and say,
what Pres doing is, Pres is saying to him, the thing that you're coming to question here, your party is and has been doing. He gives a name. Why one name? So that you can go and research it. And he can dispute it. Pres is stating it for the record. The minister is stating it for the record. Tim Harris, go search it up. He was an MP for the DA. He is the CEO of Westgrow. He's trying to say, bruh, the thing that you come in to talk to me about, go ask Galen about it. That's basically the point here. But I want you to hear the admission of Liam, because many missed it.
I'm talking about his party because he mentioned my party. He must not come here and say it has never happened where an ANC member is part of a board, because our constitution does not disallow you from becoming a member of a board, because our constitution is very clear. Political affiliation is your right. So here we should speak about the act. Which brings me to my other point. What I will not allow, Chairperson, what I will never allow, is for this honorable member to, when he speaks, I listen. But every time I speak, and you rightly called him to order, but on a personal level, I need him to know. You showed Minister Dennis Jordan with your finger. I'm never going to allow you to do that to me. I respect you, respect me. When you speak, I am obliged to listen. And when I speak, you should listen. You should not come in as you feel. You can only come in through a point of order through the chairperson. So, in conclusion, I've breached no act. Patriotic Alliance is not the first party, and it will certainly not be the last party. Your party in the Western Cape is riddled with examples I can make you if I get further time. Thirdly, when you say I've done something wrong, quote the act.
Quote
Don't
the
put your feelings. Thank you very much, sir.
Quote the act.
Honorable Liam Jacobs, proceed.
Chairperson, I would like to ask the Minister, does he contend that there may be a conflict of interest, Chairperson, between himself, the person who was leading the interview panel, and the Chairperson of the board? Second to that, he has still not answered what his understanding and his rationale is behind appointing these individuals. He has not explained that. He said the act this, he said the act that. He has not explained his rationale.
Honorable
Surely,
Liam Jacobs.
he has a rationale to act from, Chairperson, and it's
Honorable
not
Liam
just that.
Jacobs, I cannot describe to the Minister how to respond. The Minister has responded. You have made your point.
So, Pinnacle, does he equate?
Minister, please respond to the second
Listen
question.
to this.
I want to ask him, does knowing someone, like I know legal Pinnacle, does he equate knowing someone to a conflict of interest? That is laughable. I know him, I know you, Honorable Chairperson, I know Honorable Liam. Knowing someone does not equal conflict of interest like I know Leader Pelican. How does it constitute a conflict of interest? Chairperson, there he goes again. I am still
The
busy,
Minister is
Chairperson.
still speaking. Minister.
Third time he's doing that. You are rude. That is rudeness. And I have just complained about the very thing. He does it again. I will never stand for this person. This rudeness of this honorable member. When I speak, he's just coming here like he's speaking. He's already cut dispersions on the party I belong to, calling us dictatorial, whatever. Does he know anything about the patriotic?
Watch what President is going to do now. And this is where I want you guys to listen very carefully. He cast aspersions, which is in his rights to do, to the party. Now the minister is going to do the same and put something very clear. And I want you all to listen to the depth of this. Firstly, conflict of interest. Knowing someone does not constitute conflict of interest in terms of the law. You can't say, it's a conflict of interest because I know you. It's not conflict of interest, the fact that Press knows Liesel and Press knows Eugene. That's now constituting conflict of interest. It's not going to fly in a court of law, and he knows that. But I want you to listen to what Press says. He calls the PA dictatorial. Let's talk about his party. Watch.
Alliance to anything that is cutting aspersions on the party, and I, as the leader, must sit here and listen to a man whose party has the majority colored people, but doesn't have one colored minister, doesn't have one colored deputy minister, and you talk about dictatorship.
Watch. You talk about dictatorship in the PA, but in your party, Liam Lop, in your party, the majority of the constituency that puts the DA in power is colored people. It's a deep truth. But because they don't think nothing about colored people, there's not one minister. That's what he's saying. There's not one minister, one colored minister that the DA put there. Not even a deputy minister is a colored. Out of so many deputy ministers and so many ministers that they have. And he wants to talk about dictatorial. What? Was it democratically decided to exclude coloreds in senior leadership in the Democratic Alliance? Is that what? The DA is not dictatorial, fine. So are you saying that majority then democratically voted that coloreds in the DA does not deserve top positions? Now, what makes you think, other than it's funny old Liam, what makes you think that, Masagan? What makes you think that?
You don't have one colored minister, one colored, and you come tell me about my party. To the staff of the portfolio committee. Don't come to politics. They had last to come. Don't come to us and come with what they've written down for you to come and ask me. Come with facts, come with X, and come with the proof of what you're saying. But don't come and fish here for some information that's not there. You are speculating and you are casting aspersions on good people like Liesl Peniken and Eugene Botha. Tell us what they've done wrong. Go and investigate. I give you all the permission. I will, if the chairperson, the honorable chairperson, call me to account, if there's a conflict of interest, I will make myself available. But don't come here and do what you've done to the other people that appear before the board. Lastly, chairperson, what you are doing, Mr. Jacobs, you've gotten away for too long with it. Number one, you've taken out a political statement this week on the letterhead of the Democratic Alliance, stating that I have interfered and stopped the netball SA from being investigated, which is a lie. Secondly,
Sure.
you come to this committee and you mix politics. You mix politics with the work of this committee. Thirdly, your oversight is so biased. We are waiting for you to go to the West, to Kalicha, to Guguletu, to go and do oversight also there under the areas. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Yo, you heard what Press did there. He's literally telling him, you lied. Liam has no comeback. He lied. Now, I'm going to close with this. To say to you, conflict of interest. Guys, think about it. I can slap once. But I want you to think about this. Think very carefully. What Liam is saying, what he's literally pushing for, he is saying that Liesl Peniken, Eugene Botha, just by virtue of the fact that they are members of the Patriotic Alliance, they can't hold positions in a board. Does that make, fry yourself, does it make sense? They qualify. Listen, it's a board on arts. Liesl Peniken, she's a professional in arts. She is one of the top award-winning artists in our country. She's overqualified when it comes to arts. She was with people such as Oprah. And for years, they've neglected her and her art. Idols, with all her gifts, could have made her a judge. Instead, they made her a vocal coach. Why? She's colored. Now she joins a party that for once speaks for her. And are you saying that by virtue of the fact that she joined this party, now that there's an opportunity for her to hold a position that she qualifies for, she can't because she's a member of the party? This conflict of interest because she knows the president. Is he withdrawal? I want to ask you guys, all of us who are members of the party, you that's working there on the ground, that's knocking on people's doors as a member of the PA. You know what Liam is saying? Liam is saying that when Gayton McKenzie becomes the president, Liam is saying that none of you must get jobs because you know the president. All the jobs must go to other parties, people. Yet you are walking the streets, knocking on doors, van jy glo nou reeds dat van Rayman oorvat gaan ek 'n werk kry. Maar Liam sê wanneer daai gebeur, moet hy nie vir jou include nie because jy's gedisqualified because jy's 'n PA member. Is that logical, julle? Is dit biological? So wat hy ons eintlik sê as ons nou by DA gaan, there's nobody that's a member of the DA that sits on boards. There's no one that's a member of the DA that is in different positions. Is that what he's trying to say? Now he wants to paint, he was sent to paint his own as corrupt, as criminal, but he failed. Allah gebruik jou ons kind. Allah gaan jou uitspoeg soos hulle van Muslim en man het gespoeg het. En hy ander met die wat sal dan? Allah gee niks om vir jou, maar as ek en jy soos 'n slaaf op 'n stage. Jy soos 'n slaaf op 'n stage. Jy dance for a tune. When they're done, they'll spit you out. So be clear about it, guys. If you agree with Liam and them, then that means what you are saying is that as a PA member, when there's opportunity for jobs and positions, you can't get it because you are a PA member. Dan vir wat klop die mense se deur om hulle op te sy? Don't run after everything. Do not doubt our president. Never do that. Trust him. As we close, I will Amafangela. Right wat ek altyd wil hê julle moet right. We just want to remind the world. Tik julle almal vandag, ons trust you, praise. Or in Engels, we trust you, praise. We trust you, praise. Kom, jy hoef niks van ons te doen. Jy hoef niks van ons te doen, ons trust hom. Tik. Ek het nog so baie tyd hier gespen om met julle te praat, ne? Ek hoop dat julle gehelp. Tik, ons trust you, praise. Met groen hartjies, we trust you, praise. Tik, dankie. Dylan, salute. I mean, Eugene is an attorney. Hy het 'n law degree. Hy moet nog nie gelauw word om 'n chair te wees nie because he's a PA member. Dankie, Ashwan. Dankie, my friends. Dankie, Lawrence. Yvonne. Prophet JJ. Salute, Massacant. Jonathan Scaffers. Salute, Massacant. Salute, Saraj. Salute, Ryan. Salute, Ashwan. Rosaline, Auntie Roro. Auntie Roro. Wat mensen Europe, Auntie Roro. Dankie, Desiree. Natasha, dankie. Salute, Saraj. Rosimo. Salute, Blanche. Salute, Mark. Salute, Wendy. Julius Lizo. Jasmina, dankie. Alcibi, dankie. Villa. Salute. Breeze, Rodron, salute Jella David, salute Stunia, salute Karen. I just stand with Laban, like Fulham. And come on, Liam Loop. Coco. It's blindly fella. Blind. Like a slap, Muni Paisani in English. Coco. Praise of niks vir ons te doen nie. Ons trust hom nog.
Sure, I would do ownership.